All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. My name is Mitch Barham. I am an AO mentor. I've known Sean Thomas for a while, but a little bit of history for you guys. So here I got some, preset questions. Feel free to drop anything in the chat. But my background really is the last 19 years, almost 20 years now, which dates myself. Have been a entrepreneur, self-employed, and I built numerous seven-figure e-commerce businesses of my own over the last years. And in 2018, started a digital marketing agency, kind of for a side hustle. Hey, Jessica, how are you? So started my agency in 2018 as a side hustle while I was growing my e-commerce business, and then sold that one in 2021 and went full agency. And my agency is a multi seven-figure digital marketing agency. We're full stack. And I'm here to help everybody. We all start in the same place, and I can tell you from my own experience, having a group of people to lean on from their experience. Man, if I had the resources that I have now, with everybody, the groups and communities I'm a part of, 20 years ago, things would have been so much easier. So please make sure to take advantage of everything within this AO community. This is a very, very wonderful community. And trust me, we've all been there. There's no dumb questions. And you just have to ask. It's kind of one of those things where I like to say, you don't want to be the smartest one in the room. I still, to this day, seek out rooms that I am the dumbest one in the room, because it's the only way I'm going to get better and reach my goals of building huge companies, which who knows if we'll get there. But anyways, got some questions that were pre-submitted. I will do my best to answer these, and feel free again, if you are actually in here live, I think there's 3 of you. Feel free to say hi, and then please, drop any additional questions you may have in there. So I am also pulling up another thing on my Slack channel. All right, but we'll start with question 1 that was pre-submitted. I honestly don't know if I'm supposed to call it the name. I forgot what Sean told me to do. But question is, what is the best way to project out cash flow to prepare yourself for quitting my day job and going into business full time? Business description is I own a custom apparel company, but we do much more than apparel. We do custom team uniforms, apparel, team stores, screen print, embroidery, DTF transfers. I also do banners, pop-up tents, and more. So it pretty much feels like a full stack print shop. I am making money, but I want to plan for my job departure. What recommendations do you have to help me forecast that? So I would recommend one, like you want to have at least, my bookkeepers like to say 3 months worth of business operating expenses saved up inside your business. I personally like 6 months or a year, like as much as possible. I'm very adamant on stacking cash as much as possible for a rainy day, for you never know what's going to happen. Recessions, another pandemic, you never know. So I would say to have like 6 months in cash in reserves inside of your business. Then have it to be profitable enough that you can pay yourself and replace your day job's revenue, and not put the business in a bad place. But also you yourself need to be personally, what's the word I'm looking for? Personally, like financially stable enough personally that if things happened, what's up, Sean? If things happened within your business and you could not take a paycheck, that you will be able to survive. So even personally, like I would love to say 6 months worth of savings, all your bills, everything, right? Like, man, I remember starting out and everything was budgeted out. But I'll tell you what happened to me in my first business as well. But like now, the way I project everything out, because the first time when I transitioned from day job to entrepreneur, it was not by choice. And thank God I had the entrepreneur thing. But now I look at everything as like, I personally want to have at least a year's worth of money to fall back on, right? Then within the business, we can survive. Roy, what's going on? Funny, I just talked to you. Then I'm going to have 6 months to a year personally, then at least 6 months of inside the business. So if everything, let's just say for some reason I lose every single client within my agency or my e-commerce businesses just stopped getting sales altogether, I could keep my staff, we could pivot, we could move and still survive. I don't know if this is like fully answering your question. The way and I'll tell you the story real quick to kind of like tie into, there's two stories that could kind of tie into this. Um, I My transition from full-time job to entrepreneur, I was doing them both at the same time, and then I got the one time in my life, 20 years ago, that I got fired from a job. I got fired. I felt bad for myself for about 3 hours, and then was like, you know what? I've had this side thing going that's been building. I don't have a plan B. Let's just go. Like, I'm going to make this work. And I made it work. And it took a while, to really, but I just dove in head first. So I didn't have a backup plan. Like, thank God my wife was working at the time. But within a couple months, I was paying myself and then was able to actually get her to quit her day job and come work with me. Then honestly in 2021, after I sold my last business, I didn't take a paycheck all of 2022 and part of 2023. I was financially stable enough to do that, but I'd sold my business, and then I was making sure to pay the employees and everybody else and build a cash reserve in the business within the agency to then start paying myself. So I also have a weird thing where I have zero is not my zero. My zero moves up. So like for me, like you're kind of going to want to set goals as well with your zero. So like $20,000 could be your zero, but it's really, you have $20,000, but at $20,000, it's kind of like an oh shit moment. Then that move it up to $40,000. Then like say $40,000 is your oh shit moment. Then you'll get to a point where it's like, now you're at six figures and money in the bank for your business. And now that's your new zero. But it also will help alleviate any kind of anxiety and stress that you have, because you got this money and you're technically fine, but like, hey, we're at this zero. I need to do some hustling or whatever. Hopefully that helped. Okay. Next one is, how do you manage the mindset that goes along with knowing your entire life is depending on your business succeeding and making money? Oh man, the entrepreneurial journey, like mindset and entrepreneurial journey, is a roller coaster. Description is, I have a nice vehicle wrapping business. I have a few team members. I'm always thinking about money. Yes, welcome. Yes, you will always think about that. Money coming in, money going out. It's a stressor. How do you manage balancing cash flow and selling and hiring and growing the business? What strategies do you implement in the business to remain calm and trust the process? Most days I'm good, and then some days I'm freaking out. Bro, welcome to the club. It is an absolute roller coaster. Even after 20 years, it's an absolute roller coaster. It's almost like you feel bipolar, because you'll have weeks of just absolute gloriousness, and then you'll have weeks where you're like, the sky is falling. The way I try to handle that and manage it is, one, I try to tell myself that everything will be okay. Like everything's fine. We got the cash reserves. Like I make sure that financially the business is going to be fine if things were to go to zero, which, they won't, and yours won't either, as long as you take action. And that's the big thing, is one, reassuring yourself because you have that money. And then two, don't try to look at it as more of an opportunity. So say sales are down, I'll just use my agency as an example. We went through a complete and total dry spout the first 4 months of this year. Like, I didn't know what the heck was going on, why I couldn't onboard new clients, close anybody. And ended up realizing, and I don't even know, like, it just took me a while to figure it out, but like realized something had changed in my process, something had changed in the way I did things. I also had a purge of clients in March just because of the economy. For about 2 hours, it was like, oh my God, what's happening? And like, full transparency within this group, I'll just be completely vulnerable. I lost 14 clients in 11 days. No, excuse me, 11 clients in 14 days. I always get that back. 10 of them were outside of my control. They took it in-house, and hey, good for you. You took it in-house. Totally get it. The one it was yeah, that was my fault. But I went through that. I lost a lot of money in 2 weeks, and it was very stressful. So I feel you, but at the end of that 2 weeks, it was like I'd finally hit the wall, and I was just like, "Okay, like we're in this hole. We know where we're at. Now I'm going to look at it and problem solve. How can I right the ship? What do I need to do? How much more do I need to work? What do I need to do? Like, it's just, you'll always be thinking about money. I think inevitably you'll always want more as well. Um, I'm sure Sean, Roy, everybody, all the other mentors, like, we're never really happy with where we're at. Like, we are, but you always want more. So, but just try to remind yourself that like everything's going to be okay. And then, honestly, make yourself a list. Like, I love writing things down because I, one, get joy of crossing it out, and then two, I can brain dump on here. Same thing with my whiteboard. Like, when there's big problems and I have to solve them or figure out like what to do. And that's another thing too, is like, don't be like, have somebody you can like kind of really just like thought vomit on, because you need to get it out of your head. Like, you got to get it out of your head. You will get into a negative downward spiral. That's not good. You'll be overwhelmed, stressed out. Like, get it out of your head, whether that's writing it down on a piece of paper, on a whiteboard, journaling, whatever it is. Get it out of your head. Use the group. Come talk to the group. Hit up one of us mentors, whoever it is. Like, we've all been there, but you got to get out of your head. That's one of the first things I do, is like, I will whiteboard things out. I will write things down. I will call my wife. I have her to lean on. So, that's a big thing. Just get it out of your head. Then you'll be able to think clearly and go, okay. And then you'll end up having like the driving home thoughts or the in the shower thoughts of like, oh, okay, we could do this. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of ramble. Hopefully that answered that one. Please, if you're watching the replay of this and I answered any of your questions, let me know if I actually provided any value to you. Even if you're just watching this on the replay, let me know if whether you're live or on the replay. I would love to see where y'all are watching from. Next question is, here we go. Yeah, kind of like these are all tying together. I love it. I have a hard time being vulnerable with people close to me when things are not going great, but I love to share when things are going great. How do you break through that? I have a construction business in California, and man, does it have highs and lows. I bet it does. I am in AO Squared, where we have a tight-knit group. 2024 has not been, excuse me, the best financially. I am happy and family is good, but I find myself just kind of going through the motions of our small group and not truly opening up and talking about this tough year. What have you found to be the benefits of really opening up and allowing people in, and how that benefits your business and life? No, man, I'm telling you. So the benefits of being vulnerable and opening up when things aren't going great, and trust me, I get it. You don't want to tell people things aren't going great, and like, because you're afraid people are going to judge you, they're going to look down on you, they're going to be like, "Hi, I told you you couldn't do this, or you shouldn't have done that." But when you have like a group like this, AO or any other group that you're involved with, your tight, close friends, like especially us within AO, like, we're not here to judge you. We want to help. And like, here's the other beautiful thing too to look at is, we've all probably been in your situation, like in one shape or form. We've been there, we've experienced it, we're still experiencing it. Like, trust me, just because you're a 7-figure business doesn't, like, our problems just get bigger. That's all it is. Like, the bigger the bear gets, or the bigger the machine gets, the more we got to feed the machine. Then our problems are bigger. Our highs and lows are bigger. And so we're still there with you. But opening up and being vulnerable, that's what we're here for. Like, this group of people, we're here to help you. And your problems might also be something somebody else is going through. And as a consequence, a good consequence, or as a result of you opening up about what's going on in your business, your struggles, it could also it's going to help other people, because they'll be like, "Yep, I'm there." And also, like, other people are going to have a different perspective on what you're going through. Kind of look at it like, you're in the box, we're outside the box. We're not going to judge you, but even though you feel like it's going to happen, because trust me, it's society, it's social media, it's everything. I get it, but we're going to be able to give you the feedback you need from outside of the box looking in, right? That maybe because you are in the box, you can't see, which happens to all of us. Like I get outside perspectives on my business all the time, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even think about that. And it'll be something that seems so stupid and so simple. But just remember that like this group, first and foremost, like we're here to help you. We want to see you succeed, and you know, you'll feel uncomfortable being vulnerable. We all go through that. So don't feel like it's just you, but like it'll be uncomfortable, but you got to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to personally grow and business grow. It's just going to be like a double whammy combo. And over time, you'll get better about bringing up situations you're in that like, yo, we're in this situation or things aren't going great. What are you guys doing? What are you guys seeing? I belong to other agency groups, masterminds and stuff. And like, we're all very transparent with each other. We're not judging each other. It's not really a competition. Like we're there to help each other and grow, same thing here with an AO. So, even if it's not people that are close to you in your life, utilize the AO. We're all here for you. Jessica just said in the chat, one of the things she appreciates so much about AO is she never feels judged. You can feel the support in the group 100%. And that's like the beautiful thing about this group. There's no judgment. We're all in the same boat. We're all trying to get to the same finish line. So please, like, make sure anybody who's listening to this and you're afraid, I always like to say there's no dumb questions. We all started at zero. Like we all started at zero and we all have the same problems. It's just they might look a little different, but we all have essentially the same problems. All right, next question. Oh, this is a fun one, right in my wheelhouse. How much does a business have to invest into marketing? I own a barbershop business and starting a coaching business. How much marketing does a business have to spend to start seeing ROI in your experience? I've not hit 7 figures yet and looking to really push the needle. So it's really not a matter of how much do you need to spend to see an ROI. There's much more that goes into that. You can spend $20 a day, and with the proper ad, the proper placement and targeting and all that, you can see an ROI. Then it's a matter of scaling up. Prime example, my last e-commerce business that we started in 2015, our Facebook ads, we started at, I think, $40 a day was like our budget when we first started out because we bootstrapped that business. But over time, we got good, we got returns. We were getting an ROI. We were getting return customers, like your barbershop. You want people to come back over and over again. So now you got a good LTV. So there's a little bit at the front side that like you're going to kind of break even, if not maybe lose a little bit of money potentially, just because you're investing into your business. But then the LTV will kick in, which is lifetime value. And then from there, you'll see rapid growth. So like that's what happened with us was in 2015, we went from $160,000 from April to the end of the year. Then in 2016, because of LTV, because of returning customers and being able to see a ROI and slowly increasing our spend while maintaining that ROI, we did $1.3 million in 2016. So it's not a matter of like how much do you have to spend. It's really what can you afford. Look at it like gambling. I also like to kind of use this analogy. People ask like, well, how much should I spend? How much can you afford to put on the blackjack table and have 21 be flipped over on the dealers? Because marketing to a degree is educated gambling, especially on the digital side. It's educated gambling. Like, testing is educated gambling. So it's a bad way to describe what I do, but it's educated gambling. And it's what can you afford to invest and potentially not see a return on, because you won't probably see a return on like your very first ads. You're going to iterate, you're going to change, you're going to have to do some testing, but over time you'll see that build up. So then you can gradually scale. Saying, hey, you need $5,000 before you see an ROI. Anybody that tells you that is absolutely full of crap, and there's no minimum that it takes to see an ROI. It might take longer. So if you're spending $5 a day, it's probably going to take a lot longer to see an ROI on that because you're limiting how many people you get in front of. But at the same time, you can give the big, give too much money to the big machines, Facebook, Google, TikTok, all these, and they'll just throw spaghetti at the wall and then you're out money. So like locally, let's put it this way. When I talk to potential new clients and they're like a local business, say like a barbershop, and you got like a radius that you're going to go with, I'd say like, hey, depending on the platform, you're $30 to $60 a day. Your coaching side, I would honestly tell you on that side, if you're not already putting out organic content, put out organic content, build that following. That way you're going to get clients. That way you're going to showcase your expertise. Then that following you'll be able to remarket to with ads. So it won't cost you a lot of money to get them to come and sign up for your program. Charlie Jordan, that's their ROI. Yeah. So hopefully that kind of touches on that. There's no real number. You know what I mean? Let's see. Next question. How do I keep myself from being so overwhelmed with so much to do? Love this question because I am still in the middle of this. And this is just an entrepreneurial control freak problem. I'm not calling you a control freak. But you own 2 retail locations. One is a chocolate shop and the other is an ice cream shop. Now I'm hungry. They are right next door to each other. Beautiful. Most of my team are students and is a real struggle managing hours, schedules, etc., while also training people to make the chocolates. Have great customer service all while managing the business. The business is doing well, but you also just had a baby. Holy cow. Congrats on that. But dang, you're busy. You need to free up some time to gain more mental clarity in the business. Where do I look first? Yes. So there's kind of, this will be an ongoing thing for yourself, but what I would suggest is write down on a piece of paper, 1, what are things that only you can do? 2, what are things that you can delegate? 3, what are things that you can automate or eliminate altogether? So can you have somebody else do the training? Can you have Ricardo? You're welcome, man. Hopefully you got some value from that. I appreciate you being here. But can somebody else do the training, and you might have to teach them a little bit, but like make sure and check in. There's this great like 5-column thing where essentially like you have $5 an hour work, you have $50 an hour work, you have $500 an hour work, and then you have thousands of dollars an hour work, and that's where essentially you have the training and schedules and stuff like that. Like you absolutely probably shouldn't be doing those. Like that's $5 an hour work. Not saying you pay somebody $5 an hour, but you get the saying. You kind of get the gist. So you have the low end work, data entry, stuff that you as the owner, as the entrepreneur, we shouldn't be doing. I struggle with this all the time. But so you have the $5 an hour work. You need to delegate that and get that out of off your plate. And as long as somebody else can get it 75 to 80% of the way there of how you would do it, that's beautiful, right? You've now saved yourself 80% of that time that it would have taken for you to do it. Then the next level up is like that $50 an hour work, which can, again, goes into customer service. Like you should just be overseeing these, but you need to be delegating somebody else to manage them. And then you are just looking over them. So even within my agency and within my e-commerce businesses, it's very much like I'm still hands-on at some agency, like some of our accounts, very much hands-on with like a couple. Then a lot of the other ones, my team does, we strategize, my team implements, manages, optimizes, and I'm overseeing all of that for now. I also have a assistant, so this is something else that you could probably do. I have essentially a virtual assistant or an executive assistant who manages my calendars, my inbox, my WhatsApp messages, my Slack messages, as much as possible. Otherwise, I go absolutely crazy. Prime example, 5 minutes ago, I had over 30 emails. Now it's down to 15. I haven't looked at it at all. So she's actively taking care of that for me. So you can delegate a lot of this other stuff to them. Like you delegate out the schedule work to them, and you can get one from Argentina. They're great. You can get them from the Philippines. They're great. Ultimately, it comes down to what can you, like, what is the only thing you can do? Like payroll. It's probably payroll and paying taxes and banking stuff. Then all the other things that you mentioned. But I get it. Like most of your team are students. But finding somebody that can come in, because here's the beautiful thing. Finding somebody that can come in and take over these tasks for you, like a manager, will actually free up your time, one, to be with your family and your new baby, two, to now have the brain power to think about things and grow the business. Since I got my EA, my business has exponentially grown. And that's literally because I was able to now think about other ways to bring in business and how to better resystematize and process the company to grow. So taking off some of these just kind of silly tasks of, they're not silly, but like in the grand scheme of things of what you should be doing as the entrepreneur, you shouldn't be making the schedules, training people. You should have somebody internally trained. Because here's the really cool thing too, is you will also find out through this training that, like, if you have, say, Joe Bob train Jill, random names, you will see maybe some holes and flaws, or the way you're actually like doing too much when it comes to teaching and training, or your team has a different way of doing things that like maybe you need to fix or whatever. Like it's kind of an interesting thing to like relinquish that control and then go, you guys do it. And it's going to be weird because I've gotten to the point in some of my businesses where it's literally like, I can only get you so far with what I can tell you, throw them to the wolves and fend for themselves. It's not the best answer probably, but try to take as much as you can off your plate. Get somebody to come in and take over tasks that you should not be doing, like schedules, your training, teaching people how to make the chocolates, that kind of stuff. Have somebody else that can do that, and it will free up your brain power to, one, be with your baby, and then two, to actually envision new ways, maybe new offers, different marketing tactics, everything else that you can do, because now you won't be constantly stressed in doing these lower level tasks. You should be doing $500 and above tasks versus the $50 and $5 tasks. The $1,000 tasks are the visionaries. Like those are, multi-million dollar businesses. You have your Elon Musks, your Jeff Bezos, stuff like that. And even then, I mean, like those guys aren't doing all this other stuff, but they're guiding the boat. And that's where we should all strive to get to. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, I ramble. Oh, Jessica. Are you still in here, Jessica? How do I set goals to determine what I really want from my business so I have some direction? I own a retail home goods store in a small town, and I also have a furniture restoration and painting business where we paint kitchen cabinets, etc. Beautiful. I have a manager for the store, and if it doesn't break even, it makes a small profit. I have a couple vendors that rent space to sell their goods. No online for that business, but considering, not a bad idea. The furniture painting business is me and one other person, and we just do jobs ourselves, but the business is not growing. Honestly, I'm just trying to find direction to be happy in life with my business and feeling a little lost. What do you do when you feel that way, or what advice would you give me to get through it? Thank you. Yeah, so let's see here. A couple things we need to break down. I guess overall, how do you set goals to determine what you really want for your business? So it's kind of an interesting question because I look at it the opposite way. So I look at it, for me, where do I want the business to get to monetarily wise? Like, everything's a revenue number. And then as you grow revenue, you'll have to like hire more people and expand more locations, stuff like that. So I will set a revenue goal, and it could be anything, right? Literally you can set whatever revenue goal you want. It could be $100 a day, $200 a day, $300 a day, $5,000 a month, $100,000 a month. And then work backwards on how you get there. So it's like one of my goals is to get to $3 million a year in the agency. Well, I know what that is monthly. So now I've broken down that goal by month, and I know how many clients I need at certain levels to get to that goal and the churn rate. So for you, you kind of look at it the same way, like, hey, here's my goal of X. My your one business is the jobs you doing yourself, which ideally I would set a goal there of going, okay, you hope, I mean, maybe you do or maybe you don't, but like ideally you're going to pull yourself out of doing those painting jobs yourself. So then you hire somebody else, and then now you can go out and get more and more and more jobs, right? um and let me know if this is helping you, from way off base, by the way. Then, so now you know that you have your goal of X. You want to get to that. How many jobs do you need to get or have to reach that goal? Then from there, if you're anything like the rest of us, by the time you're creeping up on that, you've already set your next goal. So me personally, I have multiple goals. Like my bigger goal is to get to 10 million a year. That's where my ultimate goal is. But I know I need to get to 3, then I need to get to 5, then I need to get to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have these little mini goals in there, and I'm just working backwards of like, okay, initially we wanted to get to $1 million a year, which meant I needed $83,333 a month. Now, how many clients does that take? How many leads do I have to have at the current closing rate that I have? So I'm working everything backwards. And so that's kind of how I would do it to set your goals. I'm feeling a little lost. What do you feel? I'm trying to make sure I'm hitting everything here. The furniture restoration and painting business. Oh yeah, that was one I was just talking about. The other store, your small town goods store. That one's kind of more interesting. Like you can do the same thing, set a goal, but like, know to a degree what your kind of average ticket price is. But the biggest thing there is going to be getting more people to purchase, and that's going to be 2 ways, which is more people coming in the door, whether you're hosting events, whether you're hosting, sales or promotions, and pushing that information out there through digital means, through traditional means, to get more people in the door. The online side is kind of an interesting thing, because the hard part, or not the hard part, but probably the hurdle you'll run into is going to be shipping and competing with the big dogs, Wayfair and all these other people. So it is going to be that'll kind of be the hurdle there. But like the online, you can offer in-store pickup, right, and run ads to your local area on the furniture and stuff that you have inside of your store, and you just have the geo-targeted ad that is, say 10 miles, I don't know, just a random number, 10 miles around your store location, showcasing items you have, say it's vintage stuff, home goods, whatever it is that you want to promote at that point. I would, try to pick kind of like good margin items for yourself. You won't have to spend a lot of money to start there. So I would start locally, offer in-store pickup. They can buy online and then do in-store pickup. That would be step 1 for me. Then expand a little bit further. Then see how that goes. Then expand further to start working your way into the shipping world of, okay, what things do we actually want to ship, and what are we going to charge? So you're kind of slowly working your way into what's the word I'm looking for? Really, just the mode of online, the online world, instead of just throwing yourself into it and going nationwide and really not. It's going to be overwhelming. Like, trust me, it could get overwhelming. So hopefully that helps there with like the setting of goals. And I find setting the goals and having multiple goals in mind really, really, really helps, because I know, and my team hates it, because we'll reach one of the goals and they'll be just super jacked, and I'm like, cool, like we love it, we got there, I'm happy, like I'm happy for 5 minutes, but I'm already moved on. And it's just because I've found in the past, when I've become complacent or too much woe is me, we're not growing or whatever, not saying you're like this, but just from my own experience, when I've gotten like that, we really stagnate and really flat, sales stop, we don't grow. And then so I've kind of learned to teach myself over the years to just like always be hungry, always be more. But that's also, I think, like kind of the true entrepreneurial spirit as well, is like you want more. I know you said, be happy in life. I would find joys outside of work. From somebody who's a workaholic, and this is my thing over anything else. Try to find some stuff outside of work. Like I've gotten back into golf, so you can find some joy and stuff like that. Cornhole, whatever. I'm really bad at cornhole, but it's funny, so I still play it. But yeah, no complacency. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. No, never. But like, yeah, don't try not to tie your identity to your business, which is very hard for us to do as entrepreneurs, because that is like what we basically put our self-worth as, is our businesses. It's a slippery slope, but if, I do it all the time, but, forgot where I was going. Oh yeah. So find other things to be happy about in life. Like, you'll be happy about your businesses. You'll have ebbs in your business. You'll have ebbs and flows. You'll have peaks. You'll have valleys. But then when it comes to, I guess what I was trying to also get to is like finding other things outside of work that bring you joy, whether that's family, loved ones, cornhole, golf, volleyball, whatever, poker, fun, having fun there, and being happy. But then in business, like, you're happy, but you're hungry. You're not always happy. And this is probably the worst advice to give people, is because I just feel like for myself, it breeds complacency. So it's not that like I'm sad or I'm unhappy. I'm just hungry. Like, I want more. And it's like, as soon as I hit that one goal, or as we inch up towards it, I'm like, feed me more. Like, I want more. I want more. I want more. I want a what's the word I use? Not a kingdom, but I want like just a giant business. Like, I've been trying to do this for years, and I've had roadblocks in my way that limited me, but now it's all solely mine. And I'm going to build this just giant of a company finally, after 20 years, come hell or high water. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, I hope that, yeah, you can definitely come out of that, Jessica, and find some fun stuff to do. Trust me. I mean, I stopped doing all kinds of fun stuff. Kind of went through the same kind of thing, a little bit of grief after 2019, and stopped doing a whole lot of fun stuff outside of work for about 4 years. So about kind of like you. Then the last year really kind of turned things around. So Empire, Katrina, you got it. That's the word I was looking for. All I could think of was like royalty, and I'm like, it's not royalty. Like, what am I looking for? Empire. Yes, I want to build an empire. Thank you, Katrina. That is the word I've been looking for 37 and a half minutes. And it was driving me nuts that I couldn't think of it. So those are, all the pre-submitted questions that I had. If the two of you that are still in here have any questions, I'd love to answer them for you. If not, I totally get it. I appreciate you guys, being in here and watching. And those of you that watch it, I'd love to watch the replay. I'd love to hear your feedback. But yeah. Kind of give it a few minutes, take a couple drinks of coffee. I'm a coffee junkie, by the way. And if you couldn't tell, I love hustle culture. Like, nobody cares, work harder. Just don't quit. Just do it. And then the other one that fell down is no excuses. Shut up and do the work. I came up in hustle culture. Like, it was hustle, work, hustle, kill kind of thing. Oh, Jessica, did you see you're above? Which one? Can you... Oh, what if you're putting it out organically and your number is stuck? Yeah, so if Jessica, if you're putting out organically on Facebook and Instagram, the organic reach is like 0.5%. So don't be discouraged. What can inevitably happen, and I hate to keep making this about me, but I'm just going to use stories of how like I can relate to these. TikTok, Sean has a bigger following than me. Dang him. He's just more handsome. But I built a decent following on TikTok and have a decent following on TikTok, but my Instagram is much worse. Was way worse before. But I just kept going at it and kept posting. I mean, I've been doing posting on Instagram for years. And just recently, in the last 2 months, it's really caught on, and I've grown about 5,000 followers now on Instagram, and it was just the persistence, checking into what got views, what didn't. And I know this is like adding another layer of work to what you already probably do, but like even if it's just briefly looking at like your reels, your insights, what worked, what got people's attention and what didn't, you'll at least kind of have an idea of like what to iterate on, what to make more of. But you're in the same situation as 99% of people on these platforms outside of TikTok. TikTok is like the easiest one, but I shouldn't say easiest. You can grow faster on TikTok than you can the others. TikTok, you'll be stuck in like the 200 to 400 views for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, something will hit and you'll just take off. Literally what happened to me. I mean, it was like a year of posting with absolutely horrible progress, and then boom, took off and it was like went to the moon. Instagram has been even longer, like 3 years of posting consistently. And I mean, we post a video a day, carousel a day, sometimes 4 times a day, and nothing was really, we were just casually growing. And then it's just boom, a video hits, it gets in front of a lot of people, and now all of a sudden the algorithm's like, hey, Jessica's popular, let's push more people to her. And then all of a sudden you're in more and more people's feeds. Yeah, your followers are not growing, low engagement, and it's definitely frustrating. Yeah, 100%. I definitely feel for you. My advice to you would be like, don't give up. Have your employee, look at like, have them put together like a spreadsheet. Have them go through if they have the time. And because this is what I had one of my employees do before I got my assistant, was go through all of my posts and go, what ones performed well, what was it about, how many views it got, how many likes it got, how many everything, right? And so then I had like the best of, and we could take those and kind of iterate and make other ones similar to those to try to gradually make them better. But again, your organic reach on any platform of Meta's is like 0.5%. So even on Facebook and Instagram, the majority of people that see your stuff are people who follow you. They're nurturing platforms. TikTok is like an outreach platform. So, but like for you, for the local business stuff, like, yeah, you have to probably mainly use Facebook and Instagram. It's just unfortunately the platforms are pay to play now and have been for a while. So your organic reach is going to be very low. If you're over 0.5% of your followers, that's great. Like without seeing your content, like make sure they're using native, like posting natively to the platforms. So like not using a scheduling app to per se post to Facebook and Instagram. If they can natively post, like that'd be the most ideal. The platforms like that more, using their native captioning. So Facebook has its own captions, Instagram has its own captions. They love that. The more you can use of the built-in tools, they will push it out more. And then, even putting in like the headlines or a hook or something that's boom right there, and then captions. The thing with Facebook and Instagram, most people are watching with sound off just by nature. That's the way it's been forever. TikTok is the opposite. We're all used to sound on. So you don't really have to worry about captions that much on there. You're 4 years for my store and 10 years for my painting biz, always posted. Damn. Yeah, I feel your pain. I wish I had like a hack for you or something, but it's let's put it this way. The business that I sold in 2021 was started in 2015, so it's almost 10 years old, and they are still stuck at 18,000 followers on Instagram. And that was with us posting. We got to 18,000 followers on Instagram up until the point that I left, and we were posting 3 to 4 times a day. And I mean, that was a good 6 years, and it was struggle city to get to that 18,000. No, but here's another thing too. Let's say, because you had mentioned that you need, that you like the idea of the local marketing. When you're running ads, you will gain followers as well from those ads. So there's that. I'm not saying like go run an ad to get followers. Please don't do that. But like just by running promotions and ads for your local store or your painting business, like you will gain followers that way as well. But there's not really much of a hack to be like, yeah, do this. You can do posts where it's like, just a caption, just a color background with words, and it's like blah, 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 blank, so you're like asking for engagement. You almost have to bait people into engaging with you, because the more they engage with you, the more it gets pushed out, the more the algorithm will then say, okay, Jessica saw and liked Mitch's post, therefore we're going to also show it to people that Jessica knows, if that kind of makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Cool. A good 45-minute session. I like it. I'll kind of wait a few more minutes, a few more seconds, take another drink of coffee, and then if there aren't any more questions, I will sign off and get back to this website that we launched, and now I'm fixing it because, websites, so much fun. Absolutely, Jessica. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Anybody, feel free to reach out to me. You shoot me a message. Might end up in my spam side of my messenger, but just know I will see it eventually and get to you, or like tag me in a post or something if you have any questions. Happy to help with your digital marketing questions, e-commerce questions, any questions you have at all. Mindset, like I'm here for you guys. So anyways, thank you everybody. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I will catch you on the flip side.